Thank you and good morning. Welcome to the first meeting of 2026. And as a few people have mentioned, I'm glad we didn't have any incredibly damaging weather events, so touch wood, over the festive season. And it's good to see the area looking so green and hopefully all the guideposts up. I'd like to acknowledge that in January we had the 9th birthday of Wondai Park Run. Since Wondai started, and I'm very proud that I'm the event director and helped start it, that we have 3 other park runs in our region. We had only over 90 people at that birthday celebration, and they're fantastic community events. And I think the bit I love most about Park Run is you finish Park Run and you go and do something, and an hour later you drive past and there'll still be a group of people sitting around having a cup of coffee, which is what Park Run is so good at. Yes, it's physical exercise, but it's also that social connection. So it's the most marvellous initiative ever and huge value to our region. A few people have mentioned Australia Day, and it was huge, and I'm so proud to be part of a community where so many worthy recipients are acknowledged. And for each worthy recipient, there's another 10 that haven't been acknowledged, so I thank them all. We had a huge breakfast in Wondai with over 200 people, and because we get Australia Day grant funding, we had the Wirrawaka dancers and the Wondai Town Band, who are both great supporters of our community. And we could acknowledge the local achiever for Wondai, Carmel Olson, who's volunteered and runs the St Vinny's there for 30 plus years. And I'd like to acknowledge John Dalton from Warrulan, who was the local achiever for Warrulan, who does a huge amount with golf and football. I'd like to congratulate the Cumbia Hall. I went out to Cumbia briefly and they acknowledged the local achiever there, Joe Shaw, who's one of those people who the more you put into the community, the more you get out. And he's one of those quiet achievers who gets a lot done. And also acknowledging the Cumbia Hall for their nomination for the Back to Cumbia event. They had a very Australian event out there with yabby racing, campfires, all sorts of things, but it was a bit warm. I'd like to acknowledge the Hall Committee at Cumbia. With FRRR funding, they've actually installed solar panels and a battery. So should there be a power outage, there will still be power at the hall in the event of a disaster taking out electricity. At Wondai, we had Australia Day funding, as I said, so we had over 70 entries. People can come and paint, draw, sketch, whatever they want to on a boomerang, clapsticks or a frame. And the prizes are all vouchers in the local businesses, so it's fantastic that we can support our local businesses. I also would like to acknowledge the destruction of Councillor Erkin's car. For an incredibly hard-working councillor, that was an absolute slap in the face and it was disgusting. But I think it's actually made a lot of people realise that councillors are hard-working and they don't deserve that sort of behaviour. As Michael Hunter's just walked into the room, I will acknowledge the fact that I had the opportunity to visit my son in London during January and went to Ypres and the battlefields and saw the memorial to his great-uncle. How many greats? One great? One great. And there's this magnificent memorial called Brothers in Arms, which is the 2 great-uncles, one of whom died on the Western Front. And then I went to the Menin Gate, to their 8 o'clock service, and when they said where I came from, I almost said Nanango. I said, near Nanango, near the Brothers in Arms, and with that they said, would I like to read the ode? So it was the most massive privilege to read the ode in the Menin Gate last post-ceremony that they have every single day at 8 o'clock. So I would like to acknowledge Michael Hunter's great-uncle. So I wasn't going to say that, but when Michael walked in, I thought, I can't resist the opportunity to say that. So I'm looking forward to the year ahead, and I think we'll have a great year, and I'm really pleased that I think we are kicking some goals. We'd like to do everything, and we can't because we don't have the funds for it, but we do our best. Thank you.